Welcome back, ladies, to episode 4 of our Fill Your Cuppa podcast for Support Together. I am your host, Mrs. O, Ciara O'Gowan, and we have Una Leonard here beside me and we Gem beside her.
Hiya.
How you doing, ladies?
Hello. We're doing good. We're ready.
Yeah.
How are you getting on since I was last chatting to you there, about 10 minutes ago?
Well, we've had a feed on us with Pringles sitting in front of us and we've plenty of fizzy juice and our cuppa here. So
ready to go?
Ready to rock.
Have you had much feedback from our last couple of episodes? Mama guilt and expectations versus reality?
Mm-hmm.
How do you think they've went down?
Good. I think the mums are finding it very relatable and they get it.
Yeah.
You know.
They do. I know a few of them have said, yeah, I swear you're in my head.
Yeah.
Swear you're in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And you know me thinking. And that's back to the lived experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that we've been there and we're real in our conversation and honest.
That's all we can do is be real.
And we've had a few males also saying, some of the fathers have give great feedback that they're getting it, especially the last one about the guilt and the reality of how we do think differently.
Yeah.
And how communication is immensely important, and that's one thing we forget to use.
Yeah.
As you said, they're not mind readers.
Yep, no crystal ball.
No crystal ball.
And
so,
as you always say to me, it's a big word for a big reason.
oh, massive word. That's a very big word.
Uh-huh.
When you're dyslexic trying to spell. But no, the feedback seems to be good. I think somebody said to you they noticed the first one how nervous we were and then the progression. So it shows we are human too, because it's not easy to sit here.
I'm still nervous.
Yeah.
Today.
Yeah. Same here. Like, and it's
Making short, like, especially the zip line at the weekend.
Will I do it? Will I not? Will I do it? Will I not?
I nearly backed out of it, but no.
You nearly did, but you done made it amazing.
Yeah.
And this is the challenge. We're out of our comfort zone, and we're showing that we actually be challenged quite often in our role.
I'm enjoying it. Are you enjoying it?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just normal. It feels natural because we're having the conversation and we're...
Very much so. It is, and we're very privileged to be able to do this.
Yeah.
And very thankful for the money that Louise
And Moody.
from Moody, because we wouldn't have been able to do it. And maybe now we'll look for more money going forward if people are interested. If people don't want to listen to it, we'll not bother.
Slide on.
I know, we turn it off. So episode 4. If I was to say to you, it takes a village, Gemma Cassidy, what would you be thinking?
I can't do anything on my own. Raising Patrick is not a one-person job. Need the likes of my husband, family, friends, school, church start, everything. Can't do it on my own.
We talk a lot in Support Together about the village of Support Together and the village that we are and the wee community that we are.
Yeah.
And I suppose for our mummies, we would always say, well, it takes a village to rear a child, or it takes a village to get you through. And whenever we are coming from a wee get together this morning, we spoke to the mummies before we left, and we says they're all buzz about the podcast, and we said we're going to talk today maybe about it takes a village. What do you mean? Straight away they said good people around you for support.
Yeah.
And using your helping hand and not being afraid and not being ashamed to ask for help.
So that's the biggest thing, you know. And I know you'd said that your husband and whatever, a lot of people don't have a partner. A lot of people are parenting alone, and that can be an awful place to often be, or you think you're alone, but actually what a village looks like isn't always people.
No.
And it could be, you know, that you're still getting, as we say, fill your cuppa, you know, what keeps you well.
Yeah.
There is a lot of great resources out there. There's a lot of great organisations. You did mention one there, and also Home Start.
Yeah.
But that's back down till, are you in that area? You know, really is. And often women will come to us and go, well, I went to mum and I've asked mum for help, but mum doesn't understand. And they keep going back that pathway, and they come back very angry and agitated, and I often have to sit with the mummy and say, why do you keep going down that path? Why do you keep asking that person if they're not able to help you the way you want the help? Mm-hmm. Is there anybody else you can turn to? Because often we're not going to get all out of one person.
No.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it could be, we've mummies talking to us to say that their best friend, and you know, my best friend doesn't ring me up anymore, and I'm never asked to go out anymore, and that's because they're probably the first to have kids.
Yeah.
And often that friend's coming from another perspective,
Mm-hmm.
and they're probably sitting thinking, Jesus, she's now a mummy and she doesn't care about me anymore, and your
I suppose that comes down to fact or opinion. A lot of the time, we're driven by our opinion.
We're driven by our opinion, and back to that conversation. But I suppose what you said, often through the transition of being in the parenthood, you'll find your village changes.
Massively.
And you talked earlier before we came on to say about the inner circle. Mm-hmm. You know, that doesn't have to be 10 people in your village. That could be 3 solid people that you rely on, but you get a lot from each other.
Yeah.
You know, not dependency, because I think
It's a two-way street.
big time.
I think the whole point is you can't do it alone.
Yeah.
You might think that you can do it alone, and you might think you have to do it alone, but you are not alone. And support together with us, with our mummies. I suppose sometimes we are their village until they can get on their feet and they get to build their own, whatever it may look like.
Whatever, exactly. It's often just because they feel very unsteady, you know, and often we're there to be the voice for them, and guide them to their own voice. Because
So who would be in your village then, Una?
in my village,
I suppose it's changed now. Your children are a bit bigger.
well, of course, my mum has a big part of that as well, and my husband Michael,
Yeah.
and also yourselves, the two of you. As I say, we're fortunate enough that we have a good unit within our jobs, that we are very honest conversations. But also in my village, is it me allowing myself to have downtime, you know, me allowing myself to pause, me giving myself permission to do that. That's a big part of my helping hand. Or if I feel that I am slipping in a sense of my emotional and mental well-being, reaching into my doctor. I know we don't have a doctor Pacific now, you know, it's different. But even knowing to be able to do that, and if it is that I have to ever go back on my meds, that's something maybe down the line. So that's a part of your support hand, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's nothing to be ashamed of.
No, nothing to be ashamed of at all. We talk in the charity often about if you broke your leg, back to that physical, that you can physically see some. You need your crutch, your 2 crutches, because you wouldn't have a balance. And we often would talk about your meds and self-help, and eventually maybe down the line when your leg or such a broken leg starts being healed, you're able to drop one of the crutches.
Yeah.
And it's your self-help that's going to help you. But yeah, I don't, down the line, I know if that's, but that helped me before, and that was a part of my helping hand, reaching into my doctor and going on my medication. What about you, Ciara?
We had this conversation, as we said, we were chatting about it earlier on with our mummies, and my village is very much my inner circle is my husband and my children. And I would go, my children give me a lot of comfort. They might give me a lot of pain as well, mind you, with there's rows and fights and all, but they give me a lot of comfort, and I know that it's great to be able to have them wee snuggle days and just get mummy just wants a hug today. But I also get a lot from yourselves. I have a couple of very good friends. I have friends that I don't see all the time, but I know that they're there, and we can pick up where we left off. Nothing changes there. You know, like friends that I've had for years and years that I worked with. Whenever I first got my first job, waitressing is a lot in the Lockyer Hotel in Case, but that's girls that are going to be there forever. I have friends that I went to university with. I have my family at home. I have my brother and my sister, and like obviously, you know, at different times you can go to you know who you can go to for certain things, or who'll give you a straight answer or what you want, or not what you want, but I suppose what you need. And then I do know there is certain groups that I will stay clear of because they are not, they won't benefit me at certain times.
Not serving you well.
Not serving me well, yeah.
I suppose one of the mummies said earlier today, good people.
Good people.
It's not just about anybody, it's about getting the right people around you.
And that cheekers, and it's great to hear that, because often we get, we get so upset in life and we get emotionally distressed. We often share our emotional distress with people that, to be honest with you, folks don't deserve.
But as I was saying to the girls today, and I suppose it's coming from last night because we had our gathering last night with the mummies, I realised that a big massive part of my village is laughter.
Yeah.
And fun. And I suppose that comes from communicating and talking. And we're very lucky that we are able to have that in our environment because it's non-judgmental, and the person sitting opposite you in the room has went through similar or is going through similar. So straight away you feel at ease. And when I say we laughed last night till the tears run down our face, we did. And God loves
I was laughing at you laughing.
Yeah, Gemma was laughing at me laughing. She was, I love the way you laugh. But my husband did get touched last night, and he knows that, because I told him, he goes, well, what stories did you have about me last night or tonight? And I was like, well, and I can't really remember, but you were mentioned. You definitely were mentioned. He was the topic of conversation most of the night. But that's just, he was keeping the crack going, and we were telling jokes and stories and carrying on. But it's laughter, and it's realising that there'll be laughter.
It's important as a human to be able to laugh. It definitely is, and that's something. I think the charity is very different that way. People think our gatherings, as we sit around and we talk about the illness is very rarely mentioned. That's something that we often do in our seat of support sessions, one-to-one, or in a smaller group. It's giving yourself permission to get out there with good people, people who have your back, people who are not going to knock the crown off your head and tell somebody else that they've done it. That is really, really important to have. And laughter is something that we're very colourful, we're very out there, we're very different. And I think we're very proud of that. And when a mummy comes into anything that we host, we're hosting it with warmth, laughter, jokes, and often taking the mick out of ourselves. Which is really important. And you've really sat and thought about this, Ciara, because you were able to talk about your inner circle and who really is there, and that does change, doesn't it? It's like an evolving, what would you call it? Like I'm sitting here with my hand going round. Right?
I'm trying to visualise what you're doing.
People pop into that, or often people are popping out of that inner.
And there is times, and we spoke about this again this morning, where you can get hurt if you feel like you're being used by somebody. Yeah. But people will come into your inner circle and move out of your inner circle. And when I say inner circle, my inner circle is my husband and my 3 children and the dogs. Because that's who once I close the door, I remember my doctor telling me, once you close your front door, it's whoever's inside the house, that's who matters, that's who you care for, that's who you worry about. So it's knowing that there, and sometimes there could be extra people there, but that's my...
Yeah, and I think the older you get, like I'm turning 50 this year, and I'm going to embrace it, because I'm very fortunate of good health, and I'm a content human. But your inner circle changes, and sometimes it's not about having 20 people. No, it's about having, as I probably mentioned earlier, 4 or 5, and you have different. Not groups. Even that. Yeah, but you have different groups of people that you get something out of. Like I'm meeting a group of friends now in a couple of weeks' time, and we're heading away for a weekend. And I know, we'll just slabber, chat, and we actually bring ourselves into the room. We don't, what I mean is that we're not watching our P's and our Q's. We're honest and open, and that's a mighty tonic, because that really does fill your jug up. Like
be yourself.
Yeah. But I won't see them all the time, and like you said, Ciara, you'll be able to pick the phone up to certain people, and you leave as you start off as you left, kind of a thing. And I think that's maybe the older you get, the more comfortable you become of yourself. Maybe is it? The more we start knowing ourselves, we're very delicate, or we hold our inner circle to a great dearness that's not for everybody.
Yeah.
This is Fill Your Cuppa, the Support Together podcast, and we couldn't bring the podcast to you today without the support of Moody Activewear. Moody Activewear creates high quality, functional activewear so that you can feel good doing the things you love. They don't just support your ass, they support your head as well, as they donate 100% of their profits to support women's mental health, such as Support Together. Visit moodyactivewear.co.uk. What's your inner circle like, Gemma?
My inner circle.
You're far from home, so...
Yeah, mine's is probably a lot smaller. Just me, Sean and Patrick. Mm-hmm. The dog, Penny, who is shedding like mad at the minute. And I could fly her out very handy, but I won't do it.
Poor Penny.
She gives good cuddles.
She gives good cuddles.
But it's harder for me to have contact with my family up in Castlelawson than I would like, and it's very hard for me to. I would have been running up there all the time, and it wasn't doing me or anybody any good because they weren't getting the best of me, and I wasn't getting the best of them. So, and that was work that I had done through Una at the start of my journey, and I had to take a step back and just accept that. Patrick now and I can't run up every fart's turn, as I would say.
Mm-hmm. Your priorities have changed.
Yeah, but so my inner circle is small.
Yeah.
And that's me. Mm-hmm. But I'm very content with my circle.
But folks, the village isn't the way it used to be. You think years and years ago, neighbours were on helping to rear the kids, and grannies were a big part of it.
Yeah.
And it's not. It's changed. The whole thing.
And I do have support. Like, we live beside Sean's mum and dad, and they are great support and all, but you still miss your mum and your sisters. And, you know.
So that looks different to everybody, doesn't it? Who your village is. But I think if we allow, back to what you said earlier on, opinion, we're opinion driven, it can be very negative. But we have to look at often the facts and solutions.
Mm-hmm. To spin it.
I had to become a lot more grateful for what I have.
You've said that quite often, and you're right. The gratitude being because often we have to fake it till we make it.
Yeah,
and
I'm grateful for what I have. Patrick and Sean, my health, a house over my head. Food on the table.
Fantastic co-workers.
Deadly, aye. Mm-hmm. They tell great jokes.
Mm-hmm. I don't know about that. The cheese is probably coming around the corner very soon.
Yeah, but it's very much, I count my blessings of good faith, and not everybody does, whatever floats your boat, but it's part of my wellness.
And what we're going to get, we can't get everything out of one person, and I don't mean get everything out of, mummies will come to us and says about, I'm constantly going to one person to get this and get that, and I'm irritated. And I'd often say, when you go out for a night, there's a specific friend group that you'll go out with because all you want is a big laugh, a bit of crack, but you're not going to sit and talk to them about your problems. And then there's somebody else that you'll often go to and maybe share that story or whatever. And often your village is something that I know we've all availed of, is counselling.
Yeah.
That was massive. I often think I must have been the longest person in counselling. I don't know I often would like to know how long was I in it, but it did make a massive difference to me. And that is often
that's part of your village as well.
Really and truly, that sometimes we can't talk to a friend, we can't talk to our partner, and we need to go to that professional. And we're very fortunate we have a service like that for our members.
I suppose I'm very content knowing that that's I've went through my counselling, but if at a time down the line I need to go back and revisit it, or something else comes up, or something else crops up, or I'm quite happy, and I because I got so much out of it the first time, and it brought me so much that I'll quite happily step back into that arena, because I think it's talking. Mm-hmm. I loved it. Like, it was very, very good for me. It was one of the, probably the best healing parts of it.
Mm-hmm. I'd agree.
Definitely. And then when you often go through your counselling, then it's very, you maybe enter into the coaching arena, and that's where when you went through your journey of recovery, and often recovery is measured differently to each person. Mm-hmm. You go into discovery, and there's a whole new world in there. Because often you look around when you're in discovery, and you start to know who you are, and you start realising, my village of support, I don't really know. Adam's really annoying me. But you never know him. But you're really annoying me now, or I can't be near him anymore. Actually, I'd be dragged from pillar to post, and I'm attending everything, and why am I doing? I don't want to do that anymore. Because you're starting to know you and what makes you
what serves you well,
and what gives you the warm fuzzy. And that's where you're often entering. Used to would have entered into the coaching. It's not arena. Like, what would you call it? And it's a journey, right? It's a journey. But you went through your counselling and that inner death, and as you said, Ciara, you would go back to that. You've had to go back to that in recent times.
Yeah.
Gemma. About your other wee ovary,
Embryo.
ovary, is that ovary?
Yes.
Embryo.
Yeah, last year.
Yeah.
Year before? No, last year.
But did you see that as a weakness?
No. That was part of my strength, that I had the ability and the courage to go do that.
It was amazing to see
Yeah.
that you were able to go and discuss, because we often talked about
It was
the
a very-
two outcomes there, wasn't
It was a
there?
very difficult journey, and without the counselling to keep me grounded, I would be a different person, most likely.
Definitely, and that was massive strength in your behalf to go, and that's because you learned from previous.
I knew, even before on the journey, very early, I knew it was coming up. So I was putting steps in place before, because I knew I was going to need the help. Because that's a big life event, if you would want to say it.
So you just didn't arrive at this life event.
No.
Do you know, you had a prep. It's like any of us going on any journey, we have to prepare. Get the car ready, get our bags packed. And that's the same, you knew this was a big event for you and Sean and Podrick.
Yeah.
But you mentally and emotionally needed to be prepared for that.
As
You
best
didn't
I could.
wait until you were walking through them hospital doors.
No.
So that's an added amazing contribution for you, and a great learning thing that you can bring back home. Like Sean benefited from that, Podrick did.
Yeah.
And I know we did as your friends, like to watch you grow through a hard time.
Yeah. It was one of the most difficult times I'd ever went through.
Definitely. And we would get a lot of mummies, and counselling's very scary for them. But because we were able to give them a kind of a picture of what it looks like. It's not lying on a sofa. Jeez, if I lay on a sofa, I wouldn't get up.
It's like Frasier.
I fall asleep.
You go and lie on the sofa and talk. No.
Yeah.
No, it's, and often you mightn't connect with your counsellor. And that's okay, you say that. But don't give up on counselling. That counsellor mightn't be right for you at that time.
Yeah. I know my mother has went to a counsellor. She's not the right person for her. Didn't serve her well. So she put a stop to it. And has since been to another counsellor, which is working for her.
That's because she's seen herself worthy.
Yeah.
So there, as I say, your village can be, and often that real tight conversation, and a conversation often needs to be maybe held with a professional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, in terms of filling your cuppa, I'm going to spin it again today, girls. It's not what you've done to fill your cuppa. Have you heard anything that maybe others are doing to fill their cuppa? And our mummies. You think of our S2 mums. We had the gathering last night. And
I know we did the zip line on Saturday. And some of the mummies done it. Some of the dads done it. Yeah. One of the mummy's mother done it. Friends. It was just amazing. Absolutely. And the laughs we had. It also made them feel good. They were given
voluntary.
something.
Yeah.
there was connection on Saturday.
Yeah. Huge.
We're buzzing. Absolutely. You have said even last night, you heard mummy saying things, even that they can't wait till Monday to listen to the podcast.
Yeah, mums are saying that our podcast has become part of their weekly fill your cuppa. It's what they sit down, they'll stick it on and they'll do the dishes, or they'll sit with a cup of tea, fill the bath, and it's their time out, because time out allows for time allows for time in, and they are getting something from it. One of them had said that she feels like she was sitting in a room chatting, and that we were in the room chatting to her. Like it feels
But it
like
also comes out
for her.
comes out on a Monday too.
Yeah, and Monday's a good start to the week.
I always like to do something on Monday because it set me up for the week.
We purposely have done it on a Monday because a Monday's a good time to start people off, especially mums if they're listening, and maybe it'll help them to sit with their thoughts or be proactive or do. But you just made you were chatting about mums that said they went and did trick-or-treating and enjoyed that, taking the kids out.
I suppose that's where they had the connection together, and all the group of mums went out and the wee kiddies went out and they were doing trick-or-treating, and I think there was one house that was very well done up for Halloween, and there was somebody out dressed up and was grabbing the wee children and stuff, and it was hilarious. It actually scared some of the mummies as well, because they weren't expecting it. But that's good out again, having connection, communicating, and having a bit of fun with the family, getting time out. That's not just the same routine. And now it's been a week where there's been children off school, and it would have been a long week.
Definitely.
And there's probably still children off school. So it's good to get out, and it's good to get fresh air.
Get your sillies out.
Yeah.
Like a wee bit of an Egypt.
Getting dressed up.
We done that on Saturday night and laugh and
getting dressed up and I suppose letting your hair down. So that's what the mums have been doing. But it's just like we've heard mums. There's one mum had she goes and gets her reflexology.
Yeah.
She's getting the feet rubbed. So it's a time out to go and lie up and get chatting, and that wee bit of relaxation. I went last week and got acupuncture, balancing the hormones. Anything at all that's going to try and help ease something that's going to go up the left. But it's having that. I stood yesterday for 3 hours and did ironing. I'm going to finish the ironing. I lay there in the bed beside Orla and had a wee snooze. It was lovely.
Lovely. Like even there today, when I was coming out to work, my daughter Caitlin had turned around and goes, "Mum, would you put on the fire for me?" And she closed all the curtains in our wee sunroom, and she says, "I'm just going to take a bit of time out." She says, I feel I need it today. I'm not going to work. I'm not running to college. And a bit of time out. And she's sitting with her big duvet and the fire on, and no doubt she's watching Friends. But just that wee time, she's even picking up on that. It's important she fills her cuppa.
Oh, definitely. And how important it is.
Deadly.
But she's seeing you do that?
Yes.
Which is, she's learning from
you.
you.
Exactly. And even naming it, saying I'm taking a wee bit of time out, folks, just to allow me to recuperate, or I've had a busy week, or I've had a phone call and it's hard to comprehend, or I need to find my steady feet here, I'll get back to you. I need a wee bit of time out.
That's boundaries, isn't it?
Very much so.
I think that's another topic.
That's something that big time we need to look at.
And what is it about November? It's saying no. No, there's something about the month of November and having boundaries.
Okay.
So
that's
there we go, yours.
Definitely.
Is there a funny smell?
Gemma, are you out there not all? Hello in your
I think it's time for a wee joke.
There we go. That's the smell.
What kind of cheese is it this week then?
My friend once used laughing gas as deodorant. He smelled funny the whole day.
Was that one you had out there? They're on about husbands or something.
Oh, me and my husband were so happy for 20 years, and then we met.
If only you could see your face.
Thank you, everyone.
Overnight. That's us, folks, for another week. Tune in, and we'll keep the conversation going.
Bye.
Bye.
This is Fill Your Cuppa, the Support Together podcast. Brought to you by me, I'm the host, Mrs. O, Ciara O'Gowan, and my co-hosts, Una Leonard and Gemma Cassidy. Today we are supported by Moody Activewear and produced by 9874 Creative.